Well, would you look at that? It looks like 2020 has its first great horror movie. Yay, thank you so much, Gretel and Hansel. I thought we were gonna have a dud of a year. Hello friends and welcome to my channel. My name's EJ Marino and this is About Last Night, the show where I talk about the movie I saw last night. Well, I just got out of a movie because they didn't screen it for critics. Yes, I'm so excited to dive into the new horror film, Gretel and Hansel. Moody, atmospheric, strange, surreal. These are words I did not think I would use to describe Gretel and Hansel. But oh my goodness, this was one of the most weird mainstream horror films I have seen in quite some time. I would even compare this to films like The Blackcoat's Daughter, The Witch, It Follows, things like that. That like art house vibe, that ooh, there's a lot of style to this movie, but there is a soul inside of it. And that's what Gretel and Hansel is. This movie looks great, sounds great, feels great, but there's some stuff to say as well. This isn't just one of those like beautiful people you meet at a bar and they open their mouth and there's like nothing good coming out of it. No, this is a beautiful person with beautiful things to say. This movie has a lot going for it. The way it talks about gifts. As someone who is a gift giver, but I never want to like receive something, I understood a lot in this film of them being like, you never trust gifts, you never trust someone who's offering you something because they're always going to want to take something from you. I love that. I can't believe that was something in this film. I also love the way they talked about womanhood, especially in this era, in this time period. It would be hard to be anybody, but especially a woman. If you remember the movie The Witch, they dealt with that a little bit. It's like, you know, kind of witch panic, the way they handle women, the way they talk to them. I really appreciated that they dived into that in this film. Now, this movie isn't some like feminist, badass kind of movie, but it does show you the story of what Gretel had to deal with, and Hansel is still a big part of the story. It's not like they sidelined him. A lot of people saw that they flipped the names and thought they were gonna like make this all about Gretel, and she is a big part of this film, but Hansel is so important to her, which makes him so important to the story as well. I'm just overall impressed. I have all of these feelings about a movie called Gretel and Hansel. Oh, I'm just so happy. Every time they said Hansel in this movie, I just thought of Mugatu. Oh my god, I love that movie so much. Does anyone want to watch Zoolander with me?
That Hansel's so hot right now.
If you know the iconic fairy tale of Hansel and Gretel, you know the basic plot of this film, though this changes up a lot to it. So basically we have the siblings going out to the woods. Their mother says, I can't afford y'all. Y'all need to leave. So they go out and venture on their own, trying to find their path. They meet a huntsman who actually guides them. He's a very good person in this film. The overall vibe of him, I like that he was here. He was so warm to our people. So while they're going out, after they run into the huntsman, he says, y'all need to follow this path. Don't do anything bad. What do? Take mushrooms, have a trip, send them off onto a different path where they run into this beautiful house that smells good. We have Hansel who describes it. It smells like bacon and candy and cake. I was just like, I'm a little hungry, I feel you. They run into this house, they run into the witch who lives there. We all know this. This sounds very similar to the iconic fairy tale. But what's different here is the witch has some more motivations. She isn't just trying to fill up her belly with children. She sees Gretel and sees something in her that reminds her of herself. And then we have this weird story where she's trying to convert her to the dark side. She wants Gretel to basically take her position in the house, to basically get rid of her brother and live her life as this weird witch. She's telling her, look, women in our time period, we don't have the best situation, so I've made my own situation. I've done this. I have reasonings. I'm not going to dive into all of the reasonings here, but we see what the witch is doing, so we see some of her motivation, we see her backstory, but we also see what she's trying to do in our present story with manipulating Gretel, trying to show her the way, trying to show her the dark side, but we have Gretel going, I'm good. I very much actually reminded me of some of the things that they're doing in Star Wars where I don't have to follow the dark path like you think my DNA, what my soul tells me, but I don't always have to follow the path of the good person. I can make my own, and that's what Gretel does in this story, and I really love seeing a story like that. I really liked seeing a woman take her own agency, a young girl take her own agency in a time period it normally wouldn't be allowed. So refreshing, so interesting. So like I like that the story modernized it. It changed up the way you tell the story. It needed a makeover. This is a story that's been around for decades and decades and decades and decades and decades, that it needed a rebranding. And not that action version that was in the 2000s. They needed to really tell a story, really have a message, and it was here. One thing I really liked about this film is the art house atmosphere to this. This movie feels like a pretentious French film more than a mainstream horror movie, and I love that so much. The way they use the camera, there's so many shots that have a lot of headroom, a lot of negative space, which makes you uncomfortable as a viewer. You're used to shots kind of standard. See how like my head's at the top of the frame here? Not this movie. They'll show you shots where it is Gretel and she feels so small in the frame, and they use the camera and the way they use the visual storytelling so much in this film, and I love that so much. There's a lot in here I wish I could explain, but you almost have to see it to believe it. You almost have to see it to let it fully process, let it fully wash over you, and I like a film that does that. I could explain that this witch lady comes out of a faucet and forms into a real human, but you won't get it until you see it. And that's what I really just enjoy about a film like this, that wants to show you its style, that wants to show you that it's pushing boundaries. When I said it modernized the story of Hansel and Gretel, it also modernized how you tell the story visually, what you can do with the It Follows kind of score behind it. It's really synthy, kind of cool. I like that. There's also the colors that they use in this film. It's not just like the movie The Witch, that's all natural lighting, that's all here. No, they play with colors here as well. I really loved the visual storytelling because it really helped explain everything. I wish I can get into really nitty-gritty details of this, but there's a lot that you have to see it to really just let it wash over you and really understand the film. Alright friends, that is it for my review of Gretel and Hansel, a movie I genuinely liked and I'm surprised I did. That's not shading the movie, that's shading the movie industry. That's shading the first couple movies I've seen this year I didn't love, but this was the first horror movie of 2020 that I liked. Hell, I'm gonna say it, this is the first great horror movie of 2020. What did you guys think of this review? What do you guys think of this movie? If you've seen this movie on opening night, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, because I make videos like this every single week, and give me a thumbs up, because YouTube takes us way too seriously. Alright everyone, let's talk about this awesome movie down below.